Welcome back to part 2 of my final beginnings. So I had just explained in the last video about kind of like some of the first early chart hits and songs that I liked that Dad happened to have in his record collection. Other songs that I should mention that Dad had at the time in his collection that I quite liked. There was Status Quo, Margarita Time, there was a bunch of Cliff Richard stuff because Mum is a massive Cliff Richard fan and she has been since 1958. So songs like Wired for Sound and We Don't Talk Anymore and Devil Woman, these kind of songs we were introduced to as well. And I still like some of the Cliff stuff from that era, from the 70s, 80s. I am not ashamed to say I like some of Cliff Richard's music. If you don't, tough. That doesn't bother me. What else? There was, he had Blondie's Heart of Glass, that was another good one. So, there was, Anika's Japanese Boy, if you remember that one. He had a lot of ABBA stuff, he had some Beatles. He had lots of James Last records, and so there was lots of stuff in there. But for this video, this is the start of my actual record collection that I could say is actually mine. That Dad might have bought some of them for me in the beginning because he probably bought the majority of what I'm going to show here, but there'd be one or two that I would have bought myself as well, because at the time, from this point on, I got my first hi-fi, which was a stacking system as well back in, and I think it would be Christmas 1987. This would be my first stacking hi-fi, and it would have record player, radio, twin cassette deck and the graphic equalizer amplifier part. There was no CD player, and it was an Alwa, I think that was the make, and it came in the standing unit so you could put your vinyl underneath at the bottom. So in December 1987 I would be 11 at this time, so I was just leaving primary school and going into high school, so there's no way I could go out and afford to buy my own records. It was all dependent on pocket money and Christmas and birthday money, stuff like that. So I'll get cracking on with this because time's ticking away. So now the very first two, because I got two at the same time, first two records I ever got myself, they were Christmas presents the same year as I got the hi-fi, needed something to play on it, and this was the first one. And it was Belinda Carlisle's Heaven is a Place on Earth, which was late 1987. This was in the charts. And I was delighted to get this because I was really into Belinda Carlisle at the time, and she released this album. I loved this song, and Circle in the Sand and I Get Weak were the other two singles from here. I've cleaned this one up and since put it on a polylined sleeve. I've got to go through some of the others and give them the same treatment. So Virgin Records, and on B side it is Weekend Change, and I ended up buying her album Heaven on Earth, initially on cassette. I had it on cassette. I no longer have the cassette of that. I loved the whole album as well. And as it turns out, in 1988 Belinda Carlisle came to the Edinburgh Playhouse, and it was my first ever concert that I went to see that. And the support act was a band called Breathe, which, I don't think they kind of lasted too long, but I have one of their singles as well, as it happens. You'll see that in just a second. So that was the first one I got, and the second one I got that same Christmas was this song. This was in the charts at the time as well, Satellite by the Hooters. Now I think this band hail from either Sweden or Norway, I'm not 100%, I think it's Norway, but I could be wrong. But this song, it was in the charts at the time, and again, it's a fantastic song. I love it to bits. If you haven't heard this song, go on YouTube, Satellite by the Hooters. It's a great chart hit. It's kind of rocky sounding as well. It's very upbeat. And this is on CBS, and it's all red. On side B, you've got One Way Home. And from day one, since we got this record, you would put the needle on it, and right away there was this scratchy interference noise you would get, and it's been there since day one. I'm actually considering, I'm going to try and hunt around and see if I can get another copy of this. So that was my first two records, was Belinda Carlisle and the Hooters. So from then on, the songs I attained from my collection, either buying myself or parents buying for me. This is the one from Breathe, and the song is Hands to Heaven. It's kind of a slow ballady song, and they were supporting Belinda Carlisle at the Players, and they were okay, but I wasn't too excited about them from what I recall. But this is quite a nice song from what I recall. I haven't listened to it in a long time. Siren Records. This was one from my cousin's collection. She had this one, but she ended up passing it on to me. Build by the Housemartins. It's another kind of slowish ballady song. Housemartins ended up changing to The Beautiful South. I don't know if it's all the same band members, but I know it was some of them. And there we are. Go Discs. That was an okay song at the time. This is all kind of 1987 through to 1991. These, and they're all singles. I'm just purely showing singles here. This one here is, there it is, La Bamba by Los Lobos. This is George Harrison, I Got My Mind Set on You. Good song. Another single from Belinda Carlisle, Circle in the Sand, and on the back of this we have the same song, but it's the Seaside Mood Groove Mix. I also had I Get Weak on 12-inch, but I can't find that for some reason, so I'm a bit miffed at that. It might still be in the attic, but I'm not so sure. The Christians' Ideal World, and on the B-side, Say It Isn't So. These are all chart hits that were in the UK charts in 1987 through 90, well, through 90 more or less. Kylie Minogue's first single, #1 hit, I Should Be So Lucky, Stock Aitken and Waterman, on the PWL records, or PWIL as we used to call it. The Bee Gees' You Win Again, Warner Brothers, I think that one is. And on the back side it is a song called Back to Funk. These guys must have been a one-hit wonder. Morris Minor and the Majors, No Stutter Rap, No Sleep Till Bedtime. It's a kind of a dancey rap thing. And I'd almost forgotten this song existed until I saw it was there in the box. I have a vague memory of how this goes, but it's not something I would have bought nowadays if I was the age I am now and it was 1987. I probably wouldn't have bought this either if, you know, Kylie Minogue's The Locomotion, I'll Still Be Loving You. It does get better. Angry Anderson, Scott and Charlene's Suddenly. This was the infamous song that was in the episode of Neighbours when Scott and Charlene got married in 1988. Probably the entire world at the time was watching this. Kim Wilde, Never Trust a Stranger. And on the B-side, What You Gonna Do? MCA Records. Wet, 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 Temptation, kind of local-ish. They hail from Glasgow. Just along the road, along the M8 from here. And on the B-side, Bottled Emotions. The Precious Organisation. Not record. What was it? Jewel? Anyway. That's what it says on the record label. T'Pau, Secret Garden, this one is. No, I didn't have the big hit China in Your Hand. I didn't actually get that one, but yeah, Secret Garden. I quite like the song. Mike and the Mechanics, The Living Years. Good song, this. Problem with these is a lot of them are overplayed. You kind of get them on the classic hit radios nowadays. Status Quo, Burning Bridges. Side 2 has got a version of Whatever You Want. This one is Pat and Mick. See, we're up to 11 minutes here. I'm going to try and get this finished. Pat and Mick, Let's All Chant. Now this is a charity record. It was a comic relief thing, and it was by Pat Sharp, who you may remember from TV shows back in the day. Pat Sharp and his mullet, as everybody used to nickname it. And Mick, I can't remember what his second name was, to be honest with you, but somebody is bound to know. So it was a cover of the song Let's All Chant. It's on PWL Records, incidentally. So. Europe, Superstitious. This one is cool. Loved this song. It's interesting that Tim Line just not too long ago did a video showing a couple of Europe albums that he'd got the remastered versions, and one of the albums he got was Out of This World on the blue vinyl. And this song was the first release off of that album, and I loved the song. Subsequently got the album on CD. And the B-side is Lights and Shadows. And Europe are on the Epic label. So, chuffed I've got that one. And then I got Born to Be My Baby. We're into 1988 now. I think we came into 1988 a couple of records ago. So yeah, this is 88. Or is it early 89, I think. Anyway, the album was 88. This was off in New Jersey. On the B-side, Love for Sale. Bon Jovi had their custom labels, actually, on the Vertigo Phonogram label. And then we had The Adventures, a song called Broken Land. Again, they weren't too well known, but they did have a couple of good hits, and this one, loved this song actually. It's still a pretty cool song. And on the B-side, Don't Stand on Me. But yeah, Broken Land is a great song, and it was on the Elektra label. It's a bit dusty. These records are all, I need to go through them, clean them all up and re-sleeve them. Then the only Aha single I got actually, Touchy, but I quite liked Aha as well at the time. But this was the only single I ever got from them. And on the B-side, Hurry Home, Warner Brothers. 1989, Queen, I Want It All. I loved this single when it came out. B-side, Hang On In There. And this is on Parlophone, if you can sort of make that out there. Living in a Box. This song is called, Blow the House Down. I can't even recall how this song sounds. Must have liked it at the time, but I honestly couldn't tell you how it goes. I'll need to put it on and listen again. And they're on the Chrysalis or Chrysalis, however you pronounce that, label. Holly Johnson, when he went solo with a song called Love Train. Holly Johnson was the front man in Frankie Goes to Hollywood, I'm sure you're all aware. I actually do not like this song. If I never heard it again, I'd be quite happy. So there's no chance of me playing this in a hurry. But I guess I liked it enough at the time to buy it, and I don't know what record label that is. This is another one my cousin had, and she passed it on to me. It's Kim Wilde again, Love in the Natural Way. I think this is a kind of a ballady, slow song. You'll be the only one who'll lose, and you'll be the one who'll lose on side B. Another good one. Poison, Alice Cooper. When this song came out again, loved it. Remember seeing the video where on Top of the Pops as well. Thought that's an amazing song, and the guitar solo. And side 2 is Trash, from the album Trash, on the Epic label again. And Keep Up with Kylie, we have a Jason Donovan single here. It just came in this plain sleeve PWL record. This is the song When You Come Back to Me, which I don't think appeared on an album. I'm sure it's a kind of a Christmassy sounding song, because I think this came out at Christmas time. So, and on the B-side it's the same song, but it's an instrumental. Magnum, Rockin' Chair. This is from the album Goodnight LA. Now again, I had this album on CD, and no longer have it. I got rid of a ton of stuff a long time ago. Some of it I wished I'd kept, obviously. But I think I got rid of this album at the time because it wasn't one that I loved as much as some others I had in my collection. For example, I loved Europe's Out of This World. I wasn't so amazingly into Goodnight LA, but I did like this song a lot. And I recall there is one or two other cool songs on Goodnight LA. Born to Be King is a favourite. So Mama's on the B-side of this. Polydor. Thunder and Dirty Love. This was their debut single from their debut album as well, the album Backstreet Symphony. Yeah, if you haven't checked out Thunder, Backstreet Symphony is a good album. I never really got too much into them after that though, to be honest with you. But I did quite enjoy the first album. I remember, I'm sure at the time I was off school sick with bronchitis or something, and I had asked, and when I heard this on the radio, I had asked Mum if she would go into the HMV or whoever it was at the time and get me the single, and she did. She brought it home one day, and I was lying in bed and I was delighted. Yeah, EMI Records. Fired Up is on side 2. And then in 1991, Free re-released All Right Now. I can't remember the reason for it. It must have been a movie or something that was involved. and I don't know, but anyway, this is a re-release of Freeze All Right Now, originally from 1970. And Island Records is that one. And lastly, or second last actually, this is 1991, is Dare and We Don't Need a Reason. This is a great song. It's such an energetic, hard rock, fast-paced song. I had the album this came off of as well, which is Blood from Stone, and again, it's another one that I got rid of. But this song is the absolute favourite one from the album. It's the opening track as well. And it's an etched edition, so it's just a single-sided A&M Records, and on the back you've got kind of that etched pattern of the kind of soldier warrior type guy. That it was actually that symbol's on the album cover as well. And the last one I've got here is a 12-inch of The Final Countdown. I attained this one through somebody at high school. They loaned me it. It's not actually mine, and they never got it back. I think we just lost touch after school, and it just it stayed in my record collection. So I guess I'm looking after it for that person, you could say. But it's quite worn and tatty. This is 1986, the 12-inch. The record is hugely scratched. It's in quite shocking condition, actually. I don't know if you can see some of it, but it's not the best condition. But yeah, Final Countdown, got to have that. So that is all the singles from my record collection. This one's run on a bit longer, but that's the end of that. The next video I do, part 3, will be the albums that I have, or that I had from then, that I still have. There's not too many actually, but I'll do a quick showing of them as well. Just briefly, you know, these are the songs I kind of had, and it kind of stopped after that with the vinyl because 1990-91 CDs were coming in, and I got a new hi-fi with a CD player, so I kind of stopped buying vinyl and started buying CDs. So that's kind of how my vinyl collection stayed and stagnated for several years until recently. So my vinyl collection is by no means huge at all. It's quite small in comparison to a lot of others, but you know, I have a lot to catch up with and build up in my vinyl collection, and there's so many albums I've missed out on. When I go back now, you know, it's just a case of getting them all. I'll talk CDs another day, but for now I hope you've enjoyed this, and I'll speak to you soon. Thanks for watching. Yeah, bye.